What's up, everyone? Thralls Metal here once again. I'm Necrotic Nick.
I'm Jammin John.
And we have an album review for you. So, yet another one that came out on this first week of November, kicking off kind of a November gauntlet. Not as many releases as October.
Dude, October was nuts.
That was a lot. But we have the newest offering from Churchburn, Genocidal Rite. This comes out again on the 5th on Translation Lost Records. This band formed in 2011 in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and New York. This is their third full-length, and this features ex-members of bands like Vital Remains, Grief, and one current member of the band, Howl. Now, guitarist, vocalist Dave Suzuki has been pretty much a veteran and multi-instrumentalist in pretty much like death metal. He was a member of Vital Remains. And then Ray McCaffrey is the drummer, formerly of Grief, which is a profoundly ugly sludge metal band, and Tim St. Amour is on guitars as well, of Howl. Now, this band is kind of special in the sense that this was the first band we saw when we got to MDF.
Yep.
And holy shit, what a pace setter.
Yep, I agree. In fact, Churchburn, still to my memory, was one of my favorite bands on MDF. Amongst everybody that was awesome there. But yeah, dude, they put on a really, really good show.
And this band's style is sort of a hybrid of sludge metal, doom metal, and black metal. And it is the heaviest aspects of all three of those genres.
Yes.
Now, once you get past the intro, Toll of Annihilation, which I have to say, as much as I don't like intros, it's effective. It is noisy and evil sounding,
very evil sounding.
And before the title track kicks off, we get some nice church bells, which, well, with a name like this, that church is fucking asking for it.
It's done.
But getting right into that title track, man, that intro is an appropriate lead-in because holy fucking doom-laden neurosis.
Yeah.
This sounds so massive. The production here is just inescapable.
Gritty and grimy and dirty and just
full.
Oh, dude, it sounds fuzzy and gritty and yeah, just bleh.
It's like a fucking whirlpool of tar and bones. It's just inescapable and thick. Very similar to bands like Primitive Man, of course, Neurosis, and actually it really kind of reminded me a lot of the band Grief too, which they're part of. This is a really cool opening track because you get pretty much this sampler platter of all the things they do. These big, almost like single chord, single note, just doomy drones. Vocals that sound like a demon vomiting glass and nails.
Sounds like he's ripping out his throat and throwing pieces of it at you.
Could you please sign this section of throat, sir? I'd really like to keep it. Thank you.
That was fun.
That's gross. You got a little schmutz right here.
Really clear, clean drum production, too.
Yeah.
Dude, the snare is cavernous. The toms are huge. Even the cymbals, real clean, crisp sound. And somehow that adds to the muck and mire effect, too.
When you can hear everything separated clearly and all those layers just kind of come together, oh, man, it's massive. And again, you get the doom-laden riffs, you get this sort of almost post-metal atmosphere in there, and then you get blackened sections with blast beats. This opening track does not like anything, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
But I would say that it does have a lot of, all these songs have a lot of melody in them.
Yes.
Yet still sounds so bleak and disgusting, but pretty at the same time.
It's almost disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost disturbing, like, because the lead work, and honestly that is sort of carryover from the last album, and I think a little bit of the first album as well, is the leads are always melodic. Like, they're very tuneful, very sullen, sorrowful, which, I mean, it's doom metal, it's supposed to be, but tuneful, and, you know, you find yourself like, oh, wow, that's a moment of beauty in this just tidal wave of evil that is rolling across my body.
Yeah. That's how I felt when I listened to it. Yeah. Rolls right into Swallowed by Dust. I like this song. This has like almost like a rock beat to it in the beginning, but it sounds like stoner doom noise, like really early Mastodon or like Pelican.
Like the slowest moments of High on Fire. It has this kind of groovy bounce to it.
Yep.
And I don't know, like it's really awesome. I like how they switch between that and the just disgustingly huge breakdowns on here. When we get down to breakdowns, it's heaving earth, like literally, like the crust is cracking, and pretty sure the fucking core is filled with corpses. I don't know, dude. This just conjures up really just nasty imagery and feelings, but again, you have moments of beauty.
The chugs over this very melodic lead section, dude, it's almost like a Maiden-esque solo. It's got harmonies in it, and it's, again, still kind of alluding to this kind of more upbeat rock beat that they got going on.
It's a strange song, but it's strange in like a really cool, engaging way. And that was something on this, like, I really felt myself like just really engaged on this, because, you know, it has a lot of like the core elements I look for in like, you know, doom metal and sludge.
Yep.
And even black metal, because there are some really cool pockets of just really dreary black metal, almost kind of depressive, but it's how they arrange them, and it, you know, it doesn't necessarily follow like the most, you know, conventional structure sometimes.
Yeah.
It just kind of keeps moving.
Yep.
And I really just kind of got into that. Like, I kind of like these unexpected turns, and I knew they were turning into dark shit. I mean, every turn was like, well, there's another haunted house.
Yep. But the breakdown in here, nasty as fuck. Just huge, like crowbar incantation style, just doom, sour lemons. It's gigantic. Ugh.
And speaking of incantation, John McEntee even makes an appearance on here. So pretty interesting that, you know, we just end up ranking all their stuff, and now I didn't know he was on this. I didn't know, but as soon as the vocals kick in on Sin of Angels, believe me, you know it's John McEntee.
Yes.
Now, I think this one is kind of the most different song on here. This one kind of harks straight forward into death metal. Like, the riffs really change into death metal. You get the big low tremolos. Yeah. John McEntee is doing all the vocals on this one, except for a few moments where you hear shrieks from either Dave Suzuki, the bassist. And honestly, as much as I like it, because it is dismal, it is actually flat out death doom, but honestly, it kind of turned into an incantation song, and it's so different. Now, that's not a bad thing. I love incantation, but in terms of how this album flowed, this song kind of stood out. And again, I love the song itself, but it's very different. Like, it feels like it should be part of a different project altogether,
or a different album.
Yeah,
maybe the same band, but if they decided to go more towards a death metal thing, because it does stand out as something completely different from what else is on the album.
And Dave Suzuki has death metal in his blood. I mean, he also has blood in his blood too, but death metal is definitely there. Yeah, no, I checked.
Blood in his blood. Man.
Blood within blood. That's why the riffs are so thick.
Very poignant.
I know
how you put that. Blood in blood.
Blood in, blood out. There's a we might not know what we're talking about. But again, that change in tone, I think they kind of did it better on the song Scarred, just because that one showed a more aggressive side, and it still sounded very much like, you know, what you were getting on the rest of Churchburn, except it's just a more aggressive song. I think it amps up more of the black metal moments. It feels a little bit colder, but sludgier, so cold sludge, which sounds gross.
And this song explodes. Like, when it hits in the like, they don't take any shit. They just bam.
And that song, Scarred, comes after the most tuneful, melodic, almost peaceful, unmendable Absence. It's flat out beautiful. Like, it's a beautiful interlude. It's all acoustic with dreary ambience.
Dude, like flamenco guitar, and like it starts out very like oriental feeling, and then it gets really dark. It reminded me of like sitting in like an art museum in like the peristyle, listening to someone play guitar while staring at art. Like, I mean, it's really cool.
It's again kind of like a break in all the just downtrodden madness. I mean, it's still kind of like melancholy, so it still fits with the flow of the album. But honestly, as much as I kind of bitch about interludes, this was a really pleasant one, and it breaks up the album really nicely. And then going into their probably heaviest song with Scarred, I think that's a really cool pacing thing on here.
As a whole, though, too, there are a lot of jammy moments in this album where the vocals drop out and the band just kind of really opens up, too. In Scarred, most notably.
This is just a really interesting sort of hybrid, and you get to see, like, all those different styles really showcased well, and flat out love the writing on here.
Yeah.
I think it flows really well outside of the last track, which, again, I liked, but it felt so different and kind of far removed, but it's flat out sick. It's disgusting across the board. And a very, again, dark, engaging listen. So overall, I want to give this 4 stars. I really dig this. I think this is a little bit different than their last 2. I think with each album they kind of change it around, but the core aspects again are there. I love the melodic lead work and these little surprises of melody in here, but God, the production is so dense on here, and it's just flat out perfect for what they're going for. Riffs, harmonies, this will give any Death Doom band a run for its money, even though technically this isn't Death Doom, but they have that feel to it. Like, if you're a giant fan of Primitive Man in terms of just wall-to-wall sort of ambience and droning and just, this is definitely an album for you. I strongly recommend checking it out. We saw them live. That sold me right there.
Yep.
And hopefully if these guys tour, you get a chance to see them as well, because they're fucking disgusting. So yeah, definitely check this out.
I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4 as well. I really enjoyed this listen. Nick messaged me at work and said, oh, a new Churchburn's coming out. And so I turned it on and I jammed it at work. And I don't really jam things at work that loud, so I couldn't really dig into it. Well, this morning...
customers ran screaming!
Right. Early this morning, over a cup of coffee and a joint, I jammed this album. And holy God, it's pretty, but it's dark and it's evil. But like, somehow there's beauty in that evilness in here. The production is perfect for what they're trying to set up. I imagine this sounds live like it does on the record. Like, they did a real good job creating this really just kind of like dank atmosphere. There's so many different styles of music being portrayed here. It's a little bit of death, a lot of black metal, some doom, and just these really pretty melodies. We saw them, and I fell in love with them when we saw them at MDF, and it was like, that was the opener band. I was like, well, shit, this is going to be a good time. I was really stoked for this record, and I should be, because it's killer.
I don't think there's CDs available. I'm a little upset about that, but that's me. I still thoroughly enjoy this, and go out and get their vinyl, download it. Get the vinyl. Get the physical.
Get the vinyl,
yeah,
dude.
Get the vinyl.
I mean, get the vinyl.
I won't, because I don't collect vinyl, but get the vinyl. It's got a cool album cover.
It's got a super cool album cover. So bands, make CDs, because Nick will buy CDs. If you just make one, he'll buy it. I guarantee.
Yeah, just, get a hold of me. So, before we do our little token outro, we definitely have a special shout out to one Kev Leon, who hooked us the fuck up.
Yes.
And I can't believe he did this out of the kindness of his heart. And he's weaponized us, which is even cooler. Our buddy Kev made brass knuckles with our names on it.
I can't get my...
There you go. Get it on there.
There
you go. He's got dainty knuckles.
Shut up.
Kev made these badass brass knuckles. He even made one
master one
for all of us, for Thralls of Metal. Thank you so much.
This is amazing. This never even crossed my mind.
No.
But, like...
And
jeez,
it's great. We get to punch each other with this. This is going to be so much fun. Don't worry, your arm too. No, it'll be fun. We're going to start a fight club. It's going to be fucking great.
You just talked about it. You fucked it up. The first rule about Thralls Club is you don't talk about Thralls Club.
Ah, shit. You know what? Good point.
No, it's all right.
I'm going to have to beat you to death now. That's the rules, right? If I talk about it, I have to beat the person to the right of me.
There we go. Because before I was holding this in my left hand. I'm not a lefty, but I am a righty.
But, Miller, Rin, and Shredlord all got their own, too. We just thought this was super cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going to have to find a place back here for at least the Thralls one, because that's we're the knuckleheads that unite the knuckles there. Isn't that great?
How cool.
But yeah, super awesome. We legit have the best fans, and thank you to all of you. But Kev, dude,
I don't even know.
It's insane.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But I mean, thank you from the heart, man. You fucking rule.
Yeah, I thank you so much. I'm so wow. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, subscribe, because we do stuff like this all the time. We are also on Patreon. If you'd like to help us out there, click the link down below. And we still have shirts available. If you would like one, hit us up on thrallsofmetal@gmail.com. Send us an email with shirts in the title, and we will get back to you and hopefully sell you a shirt. So with that, I thank once again every single fucking one of you.
Thank you so much.
And we will catch you later.